It's really just the start of what we can do today. So this is what we're going to focus on. We're going to connect all of these different graphs together to form the open graph. And when we connect all of our graphs together, the web is going to get a whole lot better. So, thanks. All right, so our goal today is to use the open graph to make it so that people can have instantly social and personalized experiences everywhere that they go. So, we're going to be announcing a few pieces of new technology that are going to make this possible. The first is a completely new version of our core platform that we've written called the Graph API. This makes it completely simple to read connections from Facebook's map of the graph and write graph connections back to Facebook's map of the graph. And this is implemented on top of an open standard that we'll be talking about for how to represent these objects and connections in the graph, in the open graph. The second thing is a series of social plugins that we've built on top of the Graph API that you can drop into your site in order to make your site instantly social and personalized without having to write a single line of code. So now let's take a look at what this looks like. A really simple example, just to get started. You know, I can go to CNN and I can check out this piece of content, and I can just see that 3 of my friends already like this story. And I haven't connected to CNN, I haven't logged in, or anything like that. What CNN has done is they've used our social plugins to drop this in, and Facebook serves the content directly to me. So I can have an instantly social and personalized experience without CNN ever knowing who I am or who any of my friends are. It's really neat. Now, I can go ahead and I can like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a connection between me and this piece of content in the open graph that anyone can access. And you can do some really cool things with that. So now, you know, if we look at the CNN homepage, for example, they're using another social plugin here that shows me all of the activity that my friends have done on CNN, whether it's liking or commenting or sharing different things. Again, I have this experience instantly when I show up to CNN without having to log in or connect. They just use social plugins, and I can have this great personalized experience. So there's a lot of magic in all the details and the products that we've built, but we have to go through them in a bit more detail. So in order to do that, I'd like to invite our head of platform products, Brett Taylor, up to the stage to show you guys everything that we've done. So thank you.
Thanks, Zuck. So we have a bunch of great products to announce today. But before I get started, I wanted to give you a little bit of my own personal experience with the Facebook platform, because I think it probably reflects a lot of your own experiences, and it played a big part in the direction we're taking with the platform at this F8. About 9 months ago, I was the co-founder and CEO of a small social networking startup called FriendFeed. And like most social networking startups, we spent a lot of time analyzing how to convert new users of the site into active users of the site. And it turns out that for FriendFeed, there was this magic number of friends that a person had to find before they became an active user of the site. For FriendFeed, that number was 5. If a user signing up for the site found 5 of their friends, they would probably become active. If they didn't find 5 friends, there was almost no chance they were coming back the next day. We never quite figured out why this number 5 was so important, but we spent a huge amount of our time trying to push users over that 5 friends threshold. When we launched, we were honestly a little bit incompetent. Pretty much the only way you could find your friends on FriendFeed was by browsing around and hoping you recognized someone's face. So it turns out that when we launched, very few of our users became active users. So we did what most social sites do. We launched an address book importer. And it actually worked really well for us for a little while. The users who clicked that import button, most of them found 5 friends and most of them became active. But the biggest problem was getting users to click that import button in the first place. FriendFeed wasn't a huge brand, and it's hard enough to give your own email address over to a site you just discovered, let alone the email addresses of every single one of your friends. So late last year, Facebook launches this product called Facebook Connect, And we put a Facebook button on our homepage next to all these other sign-up buttons. But honestly, we didn't really have hugely high expectations. Well, it turned out to be the best business decision FriendFeed ever made. Users who signed up via Facebook were 4 times as likely to become active users of the site than the people who signed up through the other sign-up buttons. And honestly, if FriendFeed hadn't been acquired by Facebook, we would have almost certainly removed all of those other sign-up buttons, because even if they led to new account registrations, they didn't actually lead to new active users, which is really what we wanted on FriendFeed. This is a really interesting personal experience for me, because on one hand, I was the CEO of FriendFeed, and all of a sudden our growth was actually moving again, which was awesome. But on the other hand, I was a programmer at FriendFeed, and my experience as a programmer was dramatically different. It felt like every time I wanted to do anything with a Facebook platform, I had to wade through 2,000 lines of PHP code just to find the URL I needed to download to get the data out of the user's profile. And I didn't think the platform needed to be this complex. This F8 is about changing that. We think the Facebook platform can be both powerful and simple. So we've got 3 great product announcements today that I think take us pretty far down this path. The first, as Mark talked about, is social plugins. You're going to hear a lot of people talking today about this theme of instant personalization. The idea that a new user of your site should be able to show up and, having never been to your site before, have your site's content personalized based on their social network and their interests. Social plugins are the way you can provide an instantly personalized experience with just 1 line of HTML on your site. The most important social plugin is the like button. The like button at its core is a mechanism for users to share content from your site back to their Facebook profile with a single click. There's no dialog boxes, there's no login required. We think that by lowering the friction of sharing will dramatically increase the volume of sharing from your site. And the cool thing is, the developer experience is just as little friction. It's an iframe. You don't need to register your site with Facebook. You don't need to download an SDK. You don't even need to know how to program. You just put the iframe where you want the like button on your site, and your site will be socially enabled. But all of these social plugins aren't just about getting distribution from Facebook back to your site. They're also about creating engagement on your site. So Facebook is serving these plugins, and we have the user's cookie. We know who the user is. So that CNN example that Zuck was referring to, even if I've never visited CNN before, if 4 of my friends have liked that article, I'm going to see their names and their profile pictures next to the like button. I've never visited CNN before, but I'm getting the personal social context around that article. It's a really powerful concept. So once you've put these like buttons all around your site, the like button powers a whole suite of social plugins that are designed to provide personalized experiences in other parts of your site. One of them, which Zuck showed you, is the Activity Streams plugin. You can think of the Activity Stream plugin as transporting the Facebook newsfeed to your own site. It shows you, the user, all of the likes and comments from their social network restricted to your site's domain. Essentially, you can implement the Facebook newsfeed for your site with a single line of HTML. And today, if you go to the CNN.com homepage, you'll see this Activity Stream plugin. It's a pretty cool experience. We're also launching a Recommendations plugin. The Recommendations plugin is a personalized recommendation service for your site. Based on the global activity of the pages on your site and the personal activity of the user's social network, we'll find the content that we think is most relevant to the user and suggest it. It's not just the 10 most emailed articles. This is truly personalized recommendations with a single line of HTML. It's really powerful. And for those of you who are using Facebook for login on your site, we've got another really great plugin. This is one I wish we had had at FriendFeed. The login plugin will show a standard Facebook login button, but underneath it, it'll show the profile pictures of the user's friends who have already joined your site. So imagine this. A user's never heard of FriendFeed before, goes on the front page and sees 5 of their friends have already joined. Just think of how much that would have improved the sign-up rate. I think everybody using a Facebook Connect login button should probably be using this plugin. And then finally, we have the social bar. This is like the kitchen sink of social plugins. We have like buttons. We've got activity streams. We even have Facebook chat. The cool thing about the social bar, actually, is it really is an all-in-one social experience. And because of its form factor, it will pretty much just work on any website. It docks itself to the bottom of the screen and looks nice underneath almost any UI. So if you're looking to socially enable your site and not sure where to put all the buttons, use the social bar and you've socially enabled your site with one line of HTML. So we have these like buttons powering this suite of social plugins, hopefully greatly increasing the engagement on your site. Where do the likes go when they make their way back to Facebook.com? As Zuck mentioned, the trend in the industry for the past few years has been around these real-time streams of information, reverse chronological lists of what your friends have been doing recently. It's a really simple interface, but it's limited in a lot of ways.